Welcome to the Richard Lloyd USA YouTube channel. I'm Richard Lloyd. Today I'm going to do a follow-up video on a previous video where I showed how to create a Wi-Fi extender repeater from a Netgear R6700. I showed how to connect the router and the extender together through 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi band. What they call a backhaul is what that's called. We connected to my home router, Netgear R6700, that we turned into a repeater extender through 5 gigahertz. Now in this video, I am assuming you have done this with either this router or something else, but regardless, my assumption is that you've got this configuration already set up just like this at 5 gigahertz like I showed in that video. And if you haven't, click the link on the video I tag up here. That will take you to that video, and then you can find out whether you can or cannot do this with your whatever hardware you have. Because basically you don't need an R6700 to do this. You just need a DD-WRT compatible router. Again, that video up there will show you how to configure it, any router that's compatible into this configuration. In that video, what I showed was I didn't show the 2.4 gigahertz connection between the router and the extender. So in this video, I'm going to configure my R6700 down to the 2.4 gigahertz backhaul band between the two of them, and then we'll test it out. Just so you know, I have this router as far as geographically possible away from me on my property. You can't even see it in this picture, but we'll keep going here. You see it, you might see it, it's right there in the corner. It's actually 90 feet away from here. It's still out on the fence, hanging there, like you see in this picture. I got Ethernet going to the back of it on the LAN ports, and it is, like I said, outside of my house. So I'm at the furthest corner away from it I can be physically inside this house, and it is 90 feet away from me. So, I mean, if you want to know, and it works. I can connect to it through Ethernet. I can connect through Wi-Fi on both 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz. So I'll show you, the speed tests on that. That's quite amazing, really. Definitely don't do this kind of a setup. I mean, first rainstorm, this is toast. So the only part I got right here, or two parts I got right, Ethernet to the back of it, and also it's high up. Wi-Fi devices work best when mounted on a higher altitude, or a higher, the higher you can, the better. You will get a better result from it no matter where you mount it, if you mount it high. So, yeah, 90 feet away, and that's what it looks like. Now, just so you know, this thing is now covering a 90-foot radius, which is 24,535 square feet. It's huge. It's amazing what this thing can do. Distance is a big deal on Wi-Fi, so we'll do some testing so that we can see what's going on. Okay, so here I'm going to log into it. Again, like I said, I assume that you already have this running. I'm going to sign in. And, setup is the same as it was in the other video. There's only one little tweak I did here, and that is the channel width. I changed it to 40 megahertz on the 2.4 gigahertz band because I am getting better speeds out of it. Right now, I'm not connected through Wi-Fi on it. I'm connected through Ethernet right here. So that Ethernet cable that I just showed you on the back of that extender is currently plugged into the back of the Wi-Fi connection from that on the screen. And so let's do a speed test here. There we go. So what we're currently testing here with this test is the backhaul speed. Okay, so just so you know, that would be this speed right now, 5 gigahertz between the repeater extender and my home network, right? On this computer, connected through Ethernet on the back of that extender. And you can see that's pretty decent speed, right? Like that's really decent. I'm like I said, I have a 100-foot Ethernet cable going out there. The distance is about 90 feet, because there's angles and stuff. But awesome on Ethernet. And what's giving me this speed is not the Ethernet. Well, the Ethernet cable is physically connected to the back of the router. Extender clamped onto my fence out there is actually giving me this speed. So really decent speed through Ethernet, through Wi-Fi on that extender. That's always going to be the fastest way. Well, let's disconnect from Ethernet. Here we go. Disable that connection. I'm going to enable my Wi-Fi. I've got the Wi-Fi enabled. I'm going to connect to it through Well, there's extender, 5 gigahertz. There we go. Okay, and let's see what the speed is here, or what it advertises. Now this is always the slowest when okay, 195 currently. It does, once it finishes the handshake, it seems to ramp up. Let's go back here. And speed, yeah, still 195, still not bad. Let's close that off. Let's do a speed test again. All right, 5 gigahertz, Wi-Fi, connected to the Wi-Fi extender only through Wi-Fi. And you can see that it's considerably slower when you're using it as an extender, which is, by the way, normal, especially at that distance. We're far, far away, 90 feet away. And yeah, so the other way, the Wi-Fi range is half the distance because I'm using Ethernet to the fence and then it's 90 feet back. This way, it's 90 feet over there, so you lose the signal all the way over there, and then it's 90 feet back, so you lose the signal all the way back, right? So you get a much slower speed. So let's go here to 2.4. All right, we're connected. See what that speed says. Hit the info button. Yeah, 270 and 27. That's really strange. Let's go back and see if we get any better on the way back here. Let's try that one more time. Connected, secured. I said it does speed up. Okay, 270. It's actually faster on 2.4 right now. Let's see if we get a faster speed though. That's the key, right? Let's go. So we got 55 with the other one. I believe that was what it was. Yeah. And we're getting 23, 24. So again, you would think it would be faster, but it's not. Again, it's 90 feet from here to the fence and 90 feet back. You lose signal in both ways. And this is 2.4 gigahertz, which is inherently slower. And you can see the speed is not that great. Distance is everything. That's why I set it up way out there just to show you this. 243.39. That's from Ethernet on the back of that router, repeater, back here through Wi-Fi 90 feet. So yeah, you can see that when you double the length and when you change the frequencies, things go not great, right? So let's just try that 5 gigahertz one more time, extender. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to change the backhaul connection between the router and the extender to 2.4 gigahertz and see what kind of speed we get there. See if it makes any difference. I suspect that the backhaul being 5 gigahertz will be better. So let's see what we got on the speed test here. It's still 26.7 and 7.3. And that's still connected at 5 gigahertz. Give that one more kick. So yeah, around the 50 mark, a little more. So what we're going to do next, I'm going to change this so that the 2.4 gigahertz connects to it and the 5 gigahertz is the extender. So, you can, I'm just going to load the configuration. I already have configured it so that this is quicker. So I'll show you how to save this. So before you do anything in changing these settings, you've got it perfectly set up. Go to here, over here to administration, go to backup, click on backup, and then save as. You can see I've been here before. And this is the 5 gigahertz backhaul, so I have it labeled there. So obviously I've done it before, but save it so it makes sense to you. I'm going to change that. There we go. Again, the difference between this and this video and the other one is I changed this to 40 because it does give you better performance at this distance. Now I'm just going to load my configuration. That's 2.4 on the backhaul, and I'll show you it here. So back up, choose the file we want to convert it to, this one here, 2.4. I'll show you the differences here. Hit restore, and now it's just going to switch it, and I'll show you the switch. Wait for this to come back up here. I'm going to disable the Ethernet, disable it, enable disable the Wi-Fi, sorry, enable the Ethernet. A lot of moving parts here, folks. What we're going to have is 2.4 gigahertz connected. I'm going to be connected. I'm going to be this computer on Ethernet to the back of the router first, and then we'll test the Wi-Fi connections across this 2.4 gigahertz connection which they call it Wi-Fi backhaul. Okay, there, we're connected. I'll refresh here. And if we go to the wireless connection, you can see now that the repeater bridge right here is on the 2.4 gigahertz band. And the extender is down here for 2.4. That's normal on this setup. And extender here on 5 gigahertz. So it's acting as an access point. So at this point, if we go back to our Wi-Fi, well, first let's test this configuration connected to the back of it with Ethernet. So we had 343. Let's see what we get with this. Way slower, 32, 33, like, you know, very slow. And like I said, we're testing the backhaul, which is basically the connection between the repeater extender and my home network router at 2.4 gigahertz. That's just as good as it's going to get. You know, pretty sad. That's why I really didn't show it on the first video, because I knew this kind of result would be, you know, what you would get. So that's the fastest speed that the Wi-Fi will do, no matter how you connect to it. So let's try a Wi-Fi connection to it. So let's just turn on the Wi-Fi, turn off Ethernet. Actually, let's just give that one more go, just for kicks. Yeah, there we go. It's not much better. And here's the setup for it. You know, maybe you could tweak it, but I'm not going to play. Like, okay, that's a little better. 43, 42, right? But it's not in the 300s. So let's go back to this and disable it. Enable my Wi-Fi. There we go. And then connect here to my Wi-Fi. So extender 2.4. Let's do the 5 gigahertz first. This one here. There we go. You can see Ethernet is all turned off. So now we're only Wi-Fi. It's 90 feet over there, 90 feet back. And we're 2.5 gigahertz, I believe I chose. Yeah, 5 gigahertz. That's what we're connected at. Let's try that again. Not bad, really. Not bad. You know, it's actually matching. On the 5 gigahertz band, it's almost matching the Ethernet connection to that router. To that extender, which makes sense, right? But you're never going to get beyond the 41, no matter what you do. Still, that's decent, right? Not bad, right? So let's let that go here. See how high it goes. That's it. Again, 90 feet away from here. Actually, 90 feet that way, 90 feet back. So 180 feet in Wi-Fi travel. Not bad. And if you want to know what a 90-foot radius is in square feet, it's 24,000 square feet. That's a huge radius. So that router is doing, I mean, extender router, whatever you want to call it, is doing pretty well, really well. So I'm impressed with that. Now, let's change this to 2.4. All right, we're connected. Let's see what the speed is now. Yeah, it's struggling, right? 2.4 struggling. So yeah, I would suggest strongly that you use the 5 gigahertz backhaul connection between your home router and this Wi-Fi extender, because obviously, as you can see, performance is much better. I'm going to load that up again. So just go back here to administration, and if, like, again, I'll just stop here for a second so you can see what the 2.4 gigahertz configuration is right there. You can match this on your router, and then we've got the virtual interface there for 2.4. All right, and then we have the extender mixed on the 5 gigahertz. Now this is a 2.4 gigahertz backhaul configuration, and you're gonna have to set wireless security to everything you set up, because when you create a new extender, which you have to for this configuration, you got to give it a new password. So again, really, I don't know why. I mean, you can experiment. This is the whole thing about doing this. So I'll go back to administration here. We're going to restore the previous 5 gigahertz gigahertz connection. There we go. Open, restore, and we'll be back to normal. And all those tests should go back to the normal that we had at the beginning. Back here to disable my Wi-Fi and enable my Ethernet. I found the Wi-Fi, even if I turn it off over here, like right on that button, well, this is Bluetooth, but if it was here, it turns back on and connects all by itself, which is like, I didn't ask for that to happen, so I don't understand how it's happening. But I'll look into that. So there's, okay, so now we're waiting for that to connect. But really, at this point, we are done. I just wanted to show you those speed tests between a 2.4 gigahertz backhaul connection between the two of them and a 5 gigahertz backhaul connection. And of course, I wanted to show you the distance, you know, like that's really far away. Basically from that corner of my property, that router is covering a 90-foot circle or more. Like it would cover 3 or 4 houses easily here in this neighborhood. My neighbor, this one, that one, that would be at least 6 houses in diameter from there. It's crazy, right? And again, done for free with DD-WRT firmware. Don't ever set it up like this. Just don't. You know, Ethernet on the back, of course, high, mounted high, of course. And of course, if you're going to mount it outside, it's got to be protected from the elements. This is not protected from the elements. It's just out there. It's actually still out on the fence. So I'm going to have to go out and get it soon. Okay, so here we should be connected again. There it is, connected. So there it is, connected. Let's do a refresh here. We should be back on it. Yep, there it is. And it should now be on extender, yeah. The backhaul now is on 5 gig on the 5G Wi-Fi connection, and here we will get much faster speeds. Yep, rocking. When you turn on the extender or connect to it through the extender, you don't get the same speeds. Just wanted to show you Ethernet there, 340, 90 feet away. I mean, you know, amazing, right? Like you can run an Ethernet cable from that access point right now that is 328 feet, 100 meters. Yeah, 328 feet, 100 meters. That's huge, right? So, you know, you could move things around and give yourself quite a bit of range just using a long Ethernet cable like I am right now. That's a 100-foot cable I'm using to get this speed 90 feet away from here. So awesome, right? Let's get, let's see, did I turn on the Wi-Fi? Yes, I did. Let's go on to the 5 extender, 5G. There we go. Disconnect from Ethernet. Just for one more kick at the can. Disable. There we go. And we'll do that again. And I'm assuming it's going to be around the 50 mark. Everything's the same. Nothing's changed. So there we go. Yeah. That's the difference between Wi-Fi and Ethernet, and Wi-Fi Ethernet hybrid connection and just Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi out there and Wi-Fi back. That's it for my video. If you like this video and it helped you out in some way, give me a thumbs up. Give me a like down there. I really appreciate that. Also, the comment section, give me any comments you have. Put them in there. This was just an experimental video for me, just showing you something about that configuration. Again, I'll put a link at the end of this video to link you to the video where you actually configure this router to do this. This is a 6700. It'll work on a 7000. It'll work on an 8000. It'll work on an 85. All those are Netgear routers, but it works on TP-Link routers. It works on D-Link routers as well. I've tried it on all of them. Again, watch that video, show you how to do it. This is just basically an update to that video showing you what the 2.4 gigahertz backhaul does. Outside of that, if you like my content, you want to see more of this kind of stuff, please subscribe to my channel. As part of the process of that, hit the bell icon. Then you'll be notified every time I put up a new video, and then you can watch it at your own leisure. Once again, and like always, thank you for watching. I appreciate your attention and your comments. And stay healthy, stay happy, and we'll see you on the next video.